my name's Adam if this is your first time here, and today we're going to be talking about Can't Hardly Wait, and this actually works out really well for me because I get to kill two birds with one stone, because with our hashtag game, We Are Movie Club, Grace has actually chosen Can't Hardly Wait, and I happen to be a little bit behind, which I am trying to catch up on. And this week, SourceFed Nerd has chosen it as our movie review for this week as well. So, this movie, it came out, it basically came out right when I was going into high school, and that kind of was really cool because I was right at the right age to be able to appreciate this, unlike a lot of critics, because a lot of critics, they kind of didn't get it, you know. That's one of the reasons, this movie actually is one of the reasons why I always try to look for the positive side in a movie, because a lot of critics that were, you know, old gray-haired kind of guys that were living in Hollywood and had accomplished their lives were reviewing this movie, and they didn't really get it. And I never want to be the guy that doesn't get a movie. I always want to, you know, this movie, if you can't look at it through the perspective of a high school kid, it's not something that's easy to appreciate. With that said, one of the things that really stands out about this movie, looking back on it, is how all of the people in this movie have gone on to be great stars. This movie came out at a time when teen movies weren't being made very often. It was the first of the sort of second generation of the teen movie, the first being in the 80s, and then this movie started, was one of the first to start that teen movie genre that came back with movies like American Pie and this one and others. In an interesting way, it does kind of, in an unexpected way, sort of mimic that last day of high school with everyone going on to be, you know, great things in unexpected ways that no one could have predicted on that last day of high school. Also, another thing that's worth mentioning is the kind of nerdy character. Every time I've watched this movie, I've recognized him, but I couldn't quite place where from. Turns out he was the kid that played Jack in Hook. This was his last appearance in a film. He went on to be a lawyer after this, which is smart because, you know, we've all seen childhood stars that aren't able to sort of adapt to life after the sort of stardom disappears. Another interesting fact about this movie is, if you've listened to the audio commentary, which I have, they talk about how they had originally written a character that was a crying girl that had all the information to solve all the problems. She would tell everybody, but nobody could understand him or understand her beneath her sort of crying voice. They had to have subtitles, and she would tell, you know, the two characters are locked up in the basement and somebody needs to help them, but she'd say it in a way that nobody could understand, so nobody got the information to do anything about it. What I think is really cool about this movie is it kind of revisits the theme that was explored in The Breakfast Club, particularly with the sort of jock guy and the nerdy kid. They make friends on this one drunken night, and they become great friends on this one drunken night, and they have an opportunity to stay friends. You know, high school is finally over, and you know, some people understand that and some people don't, that high school really doesn't matter, especially after high school's over. And I really do think that that's one of the strongest themes, is that you know, all bets are off when high school's over, and really where you sort of stand in high school doesn't really matter. I can tell you from experience, I've kind of been through all the sort of popularity ranks in my experience in high school. I probably started off a lot like the kids that were playing with action figures and you know, watching X-Files. Towards the middle of my high school, I was probably a lot more like that Preston guy, and towards the end I probably was a lot like Mike Dexter, only not as much of a dick. I think, having been the uncool kid in my life, I knew not to pick on people, but I did spend a lot of time with the same group of people, going to parties and trying to have a good time, but I hope that I treated people a lot better than that. But really, that's all I have to say. Like I said, I think the theme of this movie is that some people realize high school ends, and some people just can't accept that when high school's over, high school's over. You know, I actually think that there's sort of two two types of characters in this movie. There was an A-plot and a B-plot, I guess you would say. The A-plot being Jennifer Love Hewitt and Preston, that realized that, you know, high school's over, all these social standings don't really matter. And then there was Mike Dexter and the kind of nerdy kid that sort of lived to be the people that they were in high school, with Mike Dexter not being able to let go of high school, and of course the nerdy kid sort of living to get his revenge by living well. But that's pretty much all I have to say. Thanks and have a good day.